What's up, everybody? Welcome to what's probably going to be the last Aetherdrift draft video on the channel. Going to be ramping up for Tarkir Dragonstorm soon, but figured get one more in. Let's just jump in. Okay, so this is a pretty powerful pack. Got a lot of good options. We've got Webstrike Elite, which I think is a pretty darn good rare. I've got Moltender, I like Moltender a lot. Outpace Oblivion, good removal spell. Broodwagon, probably the most, like, you know, if you can cast this card, the best card in the pack. A few good ones here, too. Just like, yeah, really powerful pack. Wickerfolk, Hazard. So, you know, I think there's enough good monocolored options that I'm not going to take the Broodwagon. I think it's good, but it is, I think, just slightly better, only slightly better than the next best cards in the pack, which I think is Webstrike Elite. I think this card's really strong. I do think I'd probably take the Broodwagon after the Elite, over, like, you know, Wickerfolk and Hazard and Red Removal Spell and all. But, yeah, I like me an Elite. It's a good card. Okay, and then we get into this pack. Ooh, we see a Captain Howler. Captain Howler's pretty good. It's definitely a narrow card, is that, you know, you need to have a lot of cycling cards, be in blue-red, gold card, all that jazz and everything. But I do think I'd probably take it here. Like, the other options are Engine Rat and Wickerfolk, which are great, don't get me wrong. Plowthrough and Mole, I think, are weak enough to not follow up with the Elite. Solid cards, but, you know, if Elite was, like, one of the best green cards in the set, I would probably take Plowthrough or Mole, probably Mole. But the gravitational pull, you know, so to speak, of this card is not quite strong enough for me to take a weaker card here. I think this is a close pick because the next best cards, Rat and Wickerfolk, are pretty darn close. Like, I wouldn't argue with anybody who want to take these cards. We're definitely trading something off here in terms of flexibility. But, yeah, we'll see where it goes. It got passed to us, so, you know, it means that somebody's not about this life, wants to do something else. And then we get to a pack with a few options for us. So there's a diversion unit to follow up the Captain Howler. Like, when I think of a Captain Howler blue-red deck, I think a tempo deck, which means, you know, 2-mana, 2-1 flyer is exactly what you want there. So pretty good follow-up. I think Engineer's pretty close, too. But I do think I just take the diversion unit. The best green card here, well, the only green card here, is Lagak. And I think what Lagak would add to, you know, your given green deck is worse than what Diversion Unit would add to a Captain Howler deck. So yeah, I think I'm just going to go with the unit. Other good cards I'd like, Breaker, Chariot. I like those cards kind of about the same as Diversion Unit, though. So let's take the one that goes with our Howler. All right, now we get to a pack where, yeah, not a lot I like here. So what's the card that, you know, if I end up in some spot with the cards we have, you know, what could I see being a 23rd playable, maybe? I guess Gear Seeker Serpent, Broken Wings, those are kind of the only two. I also don't hate Blockbuster. That's more of a 24th card, though. I think I probably take the Serpent. Again, I don't think it matters too much, but I think Broken Wings is fairly mediocre in best of one. When you know, I like it out of the sideboard, but when you're not sideboarding, it's not card I love main decking. I could see us being pretty artifact heavy and then just this being our top end card in our tempo deck. That'd be fine. Ooh, speaking of tempo deck, I have a love affair with this card, a recent love affair with Bounce Off. I take this card so highly now. I just think it does so much good stuff. Like, obviously for our tempo deck that we are maybe drafting, Bounce Off is exactly what you want. But even if you're not super tempo heavy, I feel like there's just like a key moment in the game where you can hold Bounce Off, leverage it at that key moment, you know, bounce there, I don't know, off the top of my head, like Possession Engine or something. End of turn, get your creature back, attack. It just does a lot of really good stuff. Like, I'll play 2 or 3 of these. I'm pretty happy. Also, Defend the Rider. I like Defend the Rider. We could even, here's a thought, not let this Captain Howler sway our decisions too much and end up in, like, our, my blue-green Simic garbage cards tempo deck that I've been talking about lately. Made a video on the channel about that, earlier in the week, so yeah, we'll see. I would like to draft that deck if we can, because I do think, you know, that's a deck that I've been really successful with, which is basically just all the 2s you can pick up and Bounce Off plus Bestow Greatness, the +4/+4 trample. And Diversion Unit's a great pickup here for that. So, yeah, we've just got a nice tempo blue shell going on here. And honestly, that can be paired with anything. Like, it's good with green because you've just got, like, high-powered creatures that present a really fast clock. It's fine with red if you've got, like, the cycling stuff going on. You know, blue-black kind of already lends itself to that with the Haunt the Network stuff. So, yeah, I like the start. And, you know, this Gear Seeker Serpent, again, might make the cut. All right, now we've got, yeah, not much I like. I think Apocalypse Runner is pretty good in black-red. Pretty solid card. I guess I'd probably just take Ooze Patrol, although I'm not very likely to play it. All right, and then you get to this pack, and, yeah, just a bunch of filler stuff. I could take the Roadland, but I think I'm just going to speculate on Grim Javelineer as the most, you know, kind of a card that pairs best with diversion units and that tempo strategy, just pushing a bit more damage. There's an Oil Gorger, so yeah, that also pairs with the Javelineer pretty well, or just like again the tempo plan. Silicon Strength is one of those cards I like in the green garbage deck, but I don't think green is looking all that open, so I'm not. I'd rather take a black filler card, I guess, than a green one. Not that I think black is all that open either, but I think slightly more so than the green cards. All right, now we have like another Roadland, a Stall Out, which is a card I don't hate playing in a blue tempo deck if I do end up slightly short on interaction, so we'll take that. All right, another Oil Gorger. Yeah, another card's pretty good in the shell. There's also Scrap Compactor, and I actually think I'd probably take that now that I think about it. Like, I like the Oil Gorger, don't get me wrong, but the second one loses a bit of value. And we don't have any hard point-and-click removal unless you count Web Strike Elite. So I think my first copy of that makes sense. Also with, you know, Serpent. Affinity reasons to take a 1-drop artifact. All right, so not the most clear pack one other than, you know, this blue tempo shell. Which also, yeah, blue isn't like super-duper open. We got these diversion units, but that doesn't mean that much. But I'm happy being anything else. I think that's what we'll do. Just like, we will assume we are blue tempo base and then go from there. And wow, this pack is really stacked for a blue-red deck. So we've got Bastronaut, which is awesome. Swashbuckler, which is pretty good. You know, not the best in every deck if you don't have good vehicles, but solid. And then also Barrage, which is also awesome. There's no blue card I want to take here to stay blue. Because right now, if I can take a blue card just to, you know, build out that blue base and figure out my second color later, I will. I don't think I can really do that, though. So I think we probably take one of these red cards. Like Keen Buccaneer, solid card, but I think it's just, you know, these cards are a little too powerful to pass. And, yeah, which ones do we like here? I think Bastronaut and Barrage are, like, fairly equivalent. And Barrage has synergy with the Howler and also a removal spell when we're a little bit light on that, so do you think I take Barrage? Ooh, okay. And now we got a Sight of Arma. Okay, so the draft is definitely pulling us in a few different directions here. I like Engineer in the tempo-y shells that I was talking about. Yeah, you know what? My gut says I actually probably am just going to take this Engineer. If green was a little more open in pack one, I would be happy taking this and, you know, play with a few green cards. But I think we're just, like, not going to get very many good green cards in pack 3. And we might not even get that many good green cards in pack 2 here. Obviously, somebody passes Saita and Greenbelt Guardian means that the person directly next to us probably isn't green pack 2. But as far as, like, picking up playables, I think I should just take a good 2. And, you know, not speculate too much longer. Basically, we've used a lot of our speculation power. You know, if you want to think of it as a resource in this draft, we've kind of, like, taken black, taken green, taken red. So I don't think I can speculate too longer. You know, I think you can speculate on, like, 5, 6 cards throughout the draft that you might not end up playing, but yeah, I do think I just take a blue card there. All right, and then yeah, another bounce off, pretty nice. And this is good, right? Actually, I actually like the way I've positioned myself in this draft, where, you know, I kind of, like I said, green didn't seem that open, and now we're passing a bunch of good green rares, so the person or the people that I decide is drafting green are incentivized to stay in green. We can reap the rewards of that in pack 3, hopefully. Now we get a Wicker Folk, an Artillerist, which is like a fine filler card in red-blue, but nothing exciting. A Trip Up, kind of the same deal. So yeah, the best card is the Wicker Folk here. I'm going to shelf these green cards. I don't think we're going to end up in a base green deck. So yeah, I'm not really going to miss anything from this pack for our prospective red-blue deck. So I just take the Wicker Folk because it's the best card here. Okay, and then this pack, again, more good green going that way, which, I think is pretty good for us. I'll take a Thopterus. This card's fine in these tempo decks. I don't mind this. Also another artifact for Gear Seeker, if we end up playing that. Ooh, okay. So, not a Siphon deck, I don't think. I think we're probably going to be killing with damage in this deck, I would assume. We also don't have a lot of removal, where, you know, you really want a bunch of removal if you're going to play Siphon. So that's, you know, the game plan kind of being like, all right, you know, kill other stuff, draw some cards, win eventually. We're not really that kind of deck. Like, this is not a tempo card, basically is the way I see it. So what is? You know, I guess there's Ironclad for the discard stuff. There's Surveyor, which is fine. Don't really love Spike Spitter, but I think I take it over those two. I think just a little bit better. All right, another Goblin Surveyor, another Wicker Folk. So, yeah, I think at this point in the draft, I should just choose a direction, even if it's not, you know, the absolute best place. You know, if we go back in the draft and see, like, okay, what was the absolute most open lane? Maybe you could say, you know, it's going to be blue-black or whatever it is. But again, I think I've kind of given, I've kind of used too much of my speculation time. And I think I'm just going to lock into blue-red at this point. Here's an Ironclad. Yeah, going to play that, sure. And okay, Keen Buccaneer Wheel. There's also a Crash and Burn. That's totally fine. Do I want that, though? I've got double bounce off and barrage and compactor, so I think I'd rather just take the threat at this point. And Crash and Burn is fine. It's a fine removal spell, but nothing I'm over the moon about. Okay, Roadland versus Matrix. I can't see myself playing Matrix, so yeah, I guess the... Yeah, I was gonna say, do I have one? No, I didn't pick. I talked about it a lot, but I didn't pick one up. I'll play it maybe. All right, Reef Road's coming back. All right. We're looking a little bit thin, but I'm also not too sad about where this deck is right now. I would like to pick up some 2s. We're actually okay on removal. A few more cycling cards maybe. But I do think this pack is probably going to pay us out. As in, you know, just kind of the way that the colors have been flowing, pack 1 versus pack 2. Again, I think the green cards are going to be snapped up by the people we just passed to. And hopefully we get some pretty good cards in our colors. I think here I'm going to take the Goblin. Goblin's just an excellent threat. Has synergy with the Captain. Lightning Strike would be fine too. But, you know, like I said, I think we're kind of okay on the interaction. And, you know, when you're playing a tempo deck like this, just 1 mana 2/1 is very good. Just pushes 4 damage or so often if you play it on turn 1. So, yeah, I'm into that. Oh, boyo. Speed Demon. Well, okay. So, and a Debris Beetle. So now I'm rethinking this, because now, okay, let's weigh our options, right? We've got, as far as red cards go, the premium ones are Goblin, Barrage, and Howler. The rest I could kind of, you know, take or leave. And we've got some playable black. The other option here is just take the Flood. That's a tough one. Yeah, it's a tough one. I know I just said that I've used all my speculation power, but if we're not, like, giving up that much here, it's probably just better to take the Flood here, but... Yeah, that's a pretty close one. All right, now take another Buccaneer. Grim Javelineer will be fine too, but I do like Buccaneer slightly more generally. And, you know, synergy with the Howler. Discard and all. Ooh, Far Fortune. Well, we're not splashing that. I don't know why I said ooh. I mean, it's a rare. It's cool, but we're just going to take the Lightning Strike here. Our creature count is pretty solid. Yeah, 11 right now. Yeah, I'd like to pick up maybe 2 more, 3 more. But... yeah, happy to take a Lightning Strike, especially if we can get some more cheap stuff in there. Ooh, Gunner, or a Gunner. I'll take a Gunner. Cool. And then here, I think I take Enrider Catalyzer. Like, I really do want another 2 or so. I would be happy with, like, you know, 3 more, basically. So, yeah, let's just jam that. Again, I like Thopterus just fine, but we need 2s more than we need 4s. And along those lines, I take Optimizer over Crash and Burn. Also a Night Market. I need playable, so I don't think I'm going to take the Night Market. Optimizer does a decent amount here, though. Like, it's an artifact for the Seeker, and I think we're going to play Seeker. It's good at the Engineers, you know, it activates the units, maybe even tricks the opponent into not realizing you have unit mana up. Helps us activate Scrap Compactor, too. This is interesting. So, Diver and Burner Rocket are both kind of niche cards that I'll play sometimes in this kind of deck. And I think if I am just, like, you know, looking to push damage, I'd rather take the Burner Rocket. Like, I like Diver in kind of slower blue-red decks, where it acts as the, you know, like, kind of the red engine rat in a lot of ways, prevents a lot of attacks. Okay, so... yeah, the deck ended up in a place that I'm fairly happy with. It's nothing, you know, over the top. We didn't get, like, hooked up with a sicko blue-red deck. But, you know, pretty good rare, pretty good interaction. Our common base is pretty good. Ooh, Vinwixt. We're gonna play Vinwixt. It's kind of the... an 0-4 is kind of the antithesis of a tempo card. But we're also pretty good at getting our engine started, and we're drawing a lot of cards. So I think I do like that over Optimizer. And I guess I am, you know, cutting something else. Probably this Burner Rocket, but we'll see. All right, Black-Red. Apparently nobody's drafting that. Oh, also, there's the 1-4, the Artillerist in that pack, the Cycler. But I don't think I would play that here. All right, so yeah, just some stuff, and yeah, last card, not that relevant. Okay, so where do we end up? I guess actually, now that I'm looking at it, just, you know, surveying the deck before I go into any more detail, Serpent actually might be the worst card here. Like, it's not a card I like in general. An artifact count did not go up too much since I was talking about it with the double diversion unit. So yeah, I think we actually probably play the burner rocket instead. It's kind of nice with like Buccaneer to, you know, because often Buccaneer gets double blocked, or you attack and they like they block with a 3/4 of their own. Basically, this stat line encourages blocks a lot of the time, right? Just 3/4 vigilance or 2/3 vigilance, sometimes even double blocks. So yeah, I think burner rocket's gonna be okay here. And we're gonna play a road land here. I don't think so. Both because you know sometimes tap land is gonna affect my curve out sometimes, but also because we have quite a few ways to use our additional lands. Like this is the kind of card I would put in to get like a little bit of value out of my mana base if I felt like I had I didn't have ways to use lands in the late game. But we've got double Buccaneer, Barrage, Gunner, a few other mana sink kind of cards here. Goblin. Like, we're going to be discarding excess lands, basically, is the idea. So, yeah, I do not think the tap land is worth it. Okay, yeah, let's give this a go. Yeah, I think this deck is like a 6.5 out of 10, maybe, if they give it a ranking. Can get some wins, but I can't say I can promise a trophy with this one. All right, this hand is pretty good. Yeah, like, got a thing to start attacking. We've got a Gunner, an interaction spell. Ooh, okay, so we drew an Optimizer. Does that change my play at all? I guess it kind of does, right? Because then I can go unit Vinwix next turn. The downside of that line is I miss out on 2 damage, right? With the diversion unit. And you know what? Actually, I think in this deck that actually matters a little bit more than mana optimization. Like, we're just more interested in getting the game over with sooner rather than later here. Opponent plays a Gilded Goda. Okay, ooh, bounce off. That's not too bad. So, I think I play Vinwix here. Get the engines going. It's not like Optimizer casts anything anyways next turn. I mean, it can help me cycle this stall out if I wanted to. Then again, actually, I'm second guessing myself here. I just clicked through combat, so I'm not gonna have the option to play Vinwix anyways. But I think I should actually just trade here, because if this Goda gets in multiple attacks, makes multiple treasure, game starts to kind of snowball in their favor. So I do think making the trade here makes sense. All right, they play Catalyzer. Yeah, we block. They seem to have an instant of some sort here. Strike? Sure. Yep, that's fine. Okay, draw a Goblin. Okay, so Goblin, come on down. Vinwix. An Aether Siphon. Yeah, that is not a huge deal. Buccaneer. Okay, so yeah, I'm not that close to wanting to activate this Goblin, so I'll just offer the trade here. Play Buccaneer. They're happy to take it. We play Buccaneer. I would also be pretty happy to just like bounce off that turn, just if I had another play. But that being my only play for the turn, not great. Trade a Sky Ray, sure. And they didn't activate Siphon first, which is generally correct to do if you don't have anything else to do with your mana. So either that means they want to, they do have something to do with their mana here, something instant speed, or they want to kind of let me, make me second guess the fact that they may or may not, or they just didn't do it, right? They just wanted to do it end of turn. Okay, so let's just attack. I don't see any reason not to. Okay, and we're going to activate. Yes, because we're not doing anything else with the mana. Draw an Ironclad. Okay, that's like a relevant threat, so let's just pitch this stall out. Let's play land, pass turn. They're going to drop their Siphon. Draw again with their Siphon. Okay, cool. So it means they're fairly flooded. So we're Purveyor, sure. And we draw land, so let's go with the Buccaneer. Let's play Gunner, and I don't think I'm actually going to discard anything with Gunner. Like, I want both these cards. Play a Flood, sure. Wonder if they're gonna let me get to max speed here. Or they're gonna like chump maybe. They're gonna flood that too. Okay, sure. If I draw land, it's pretty nice. Yeah, that's great, because now I can just go bounce off the Gunner, play the Gunner, make it so that they can't get to max speed for their Stingray, or sorry, for their Siphon. They are counting their lands, so I assume that means they are getting very flooded. Howler was a pretty good one. What do I do with that? Am I going to be cycling this Ironclad this turn? I don't really think so. I think I'm just going to be playing the Howler, and then next turn keep the option to either play the Ironclad or cycle it. So yeah, let's just play Howler. Yep, it continues. Does this have Defender? It doesn't. Interesting. Okay, so worth noting, if that comes up, I have an unblocked creature that I can pump. Okay, they're at max speed now. Okay, so they're digging for something. Anything, I'm assuming, at this point. They probably just don't have anything relevant in hand. Unit. Okay, cool. So, let's pitch land with Gunner. Give it to Vinwixt. Huh. Yeah, that's pretty good. Sure. Why not? They can sack here to deny me the draw trigger. Okay, yep. Put it here. And now we just cycle Ironclad. Put it there. Cool. Okay, cycle heavy. I think that's still lethal though, right? 3, yep, Xaxes. Okay, well, pretty resistance-free first game. Again, the opponent clearly got a little bit flooded, but, you know, we'll take those all the same. All right, round 2 with a, yeah, definitely a nice one. Need some lands, but 2-drop, Lightning Strike. Ooh, Engine Rats? Gas Guzzler, okay. All right, so let's play our Catalyzer. Grim Bobble. All right, so I think I'm probably just gonna strike this Guzzler. Yeah, especially because I didn't draw land. I mean, then again, there is a argument for cycling stall out because I didn't draw land, but Guzzler is damaging me pretty quickly and putting their speed up. So I think I just have to hope to draw the land naturally. Okay, we did not do that, so now we cycle. All right, and draw 2-drop. So this might be pretty quick. We'll see. Stumbling against red-black is usually GG. All right, let's play Optimizer. Didn't draw land again. So maybe not. This could mean that they just have a bunch of lands. It could also mean they've got like a good 5, like Oil Gorger. Could also have removal. But the fact that, like, either way, the fact that they didn't play a threat that turn is very good for me. Okay, they like the card on top, so one relevant card at least in the opponent's hand. Yep, we block. A Gunner, all right. Land would be really good here. If we can just like, if we can stop this Gunner. Okay. I mean, I still don't feel great about this game, but I feel much better about that than if we just didn't hit a 3rd land. They are Okay, so they're like, yeah, low on action here, it seems. Maybe just have a bunch of removal, looking for a threat. Goda, sure. Alright, and we draw the land too, so that's pretty good for us. Let's just play Thopterist, I guess. There's an argument to playing Howler, because if I play Howler, then they basically have to spend their turn killing it. And then we maybe if we do that, then maybe Gunner survives. So I actually think I like that a bit better. The reason I like this a bit better is because if they attack with Goda, they can trade, but they're not forced into doing anything, right? They can just attack, and I go, okay, I probably have to block. I'm up on that exchange a little bit, because I get left with 1/1 token, but okay, that's the worst case scenario. Like, sack effect's pretty bad. That obviously would have been better if I played this there, but what can you do? Cycle Night Market, okay. Okay, we draw land, so I think that means I want a double spell here. I don't want to just jam the Gunner. So let's just go unit Keen Buccaneer. Because after all this dust is settled, if the Gunner can survive, then we're in a pretty good spot. Yeah, I'm just trying to figure out what their hand is. I think it's just like been mostly lands for a while. Okay, Apocalypse Runner. That's a pretty good one to see for them. Yeah, Goda just starts getting in, and then 6-power thing starts getting in if they draw any more creatures. Although I assume they're actually probably just going to keep saying the Goda in. We draw a Diversion unit. Okay, so yeah, now let's attack, and I think just play Gunner at this point. Yeah, we send here. I guess, well, then again, now I'm thinking about it. We're going to have to find some sort of answer for this runner. Like, let's just say they don't run us over. They don't have removal spell, whatever. If this game goes long, I just have to deal with this Gunner. And so that actually probably means I play the Thopterist and wait for a moment to play Gunner or discard something. Yeah, because I think I need to dig to removal spell with the Gunner is the idea here. Okay. So, yeah, I think this is a little bit better. Also, if the removal spell is an expensive one, I guess there comes a point where I could go, like, play unit. Like, maybe next turn I activate Buccaneer. And I play unit, and then I've got, like, play Gunner, leave up double Diversion unit. I guess that means I'm at 7 lands at that point, but yeah, probably not a very relevant line, but just something to think about. In some games, it might be. Yeah, they are super duper low on action. Yep. We try an Ironclad. Okay, so now there's actually the possibility that we just race them with this Ironclad. It's gonna be tough. But I think it's the right play here. Like, they're gaining 2 life a turn. I've got, maximum 3 or maximum 4 turns. And that's, no Lightning Strike, no burn, no whatever. But, if nothing changes, which, I'm anticipating they probably will. But as it stands, like, this is a pretty quick clock. We kill them in 3. Okay, yep. Okay, so they didn't discard first, so I imagine that means they've got their hand now has relevant things. Play a land, play another Apocalypse Runner. Okay, so now removal spell is not something I care about. Removal spell does not solve our issue here. So I guess we just go unit plus. So if I go unit, crew the Ironclad, get in with everything. The seal leaves Buccaneer back as a blocker, so they have to have, like, removal spell plus thing that can crew the runner to kill me. And I have double Diversion unit up, so it's unlikely they can do that. That looks pretty good. I can also activate Buccaneer first, right? I guess I can't do that and leave up double diversion unit and play this unit. So let's just play this diversion unit. Oh, they're gonna kill the Ironclad, looks like. Yeah, they're gonna crash and burn the Ironclad. I mean, I can counter this. I think I should. So let's do this. Yeah, counter crash and burn. And now we can activate Buccaneer for the additional point. Let's get in. Okay, well, we are on the ropes, like anybody's game at this point, I guess. If they don't have another removal spell, they have to double block this Ironclad to not die. So maybe, so actually I think I'm probably a little bit favored here, honestly. And if they want to activate the Raceway, that takes 4 of their mana, so like a Lightning Strike won't kill me at that point because I have Diversion Unit. So yeah, like there's cards that probably do it, but I actually think they need something pretty good here. Javelineer. Okay, so they're gonna gain 3. Yeah. Oh, sorry. I've been talking as if the Ironclad was gonna kill them, but they're going to 9 here, and they were going to 8 anyways. So, okay. So now I block this runner. They go to 8. What's the right block here? So I can either block with the unit and have 1 more point of power attacking, or I can block with the Buccaneer and have the Diversion Unit to counter a removal spell on the Ironclad. And because I've got Gunner, I don't need the additional point because I can just crew the Ironclad attack with these 2. Diversion Unit doesn't have to survive. Yeah, so it's right just to block with the Buccaneer. Ooh, another blocker here? Another blocker would be good. Or another removal spell. Another removal spell doesn't do it, so has to be another blocker. Oh, and sorry, I guess I went with another if they have another blocker anyways. So it has to be like a blocker that like gains them life or a blocker that does something. Ah, Siphon Fuel. So I just counter the Siphon Fuel so they don't gain 2 life. And play the Gunner, and is the game. All right, yeah. Another one that I think we got a little bit lucky with because the opponent just like didn't draw action for a while, was taking a long time just filtering lands. But you know, even still, I think it was a good game just to like talk through what lines actually were lethal and what lines weren't. All right, round 3. And yeah, this one's pretty nice. Many 4-drops, and none of those 4-drops can be cast with Optimizer, but we're on the draw, so that means 1 more hit at lands, and there we go. Leonin Surveyor. I almost want to bounce this. It's not usually great to just fire off your bounce-offs on turn 1, but this thing's going to deal me a ton of damage before I can actually block and get their engines going. So I think this is the rare case where I do that. It's basically like putting myself on the play, right? It's kind of the idea. Like I go down a card, but I'm up a bit of mana. All right, Lotus Guard, sure. Ooh, Buccaneer's nice. So let's just get in. Play the Buccaneer. There's the other option of playing Surveyor here, and that's kind of tempting because I've got, you know, I start your engines card in my hand. But I think against like a Naya aggro deck or whatever this is, I just want to be hitting my land drops, so that's why I prioritize the Buccaneer. All right, So land would be nice. There we go. There's land. And I think we just slam Howler. Yep, that seems pretty good. Let's get in. Interesting that they played starting column there, so they've got a good 5 to play, I assume. Or maybe they have double green cards. Maybe they're like a green-white deck splashing red. Broadcast Rambler. Okay, yeah. Pretty good. It's nice that my Buccaneer can attack into that thing. And I guess my Optimizer too. I'll do the Optimizer. Does just get blocked by this token. So, yeah, I'll just attack. I imagine they'll block here. I don't think they'll want to give me a free card. Oh, a jump. All right, I'll take that. Yeah, sure. All right, so now we just go... I think we just go Aetherdrift. Yeah, this keeps the Disciple back. Ostensibly anyways, because if they attack with this, I can activate Buccaneer and get in with the token. Draw a card. Also, just, you know, in general, adding more power to the board. All right, there is a Gunner. And Gunner's pretty good here. I guess I can attack with the Aetherdrift. And then, like, they block Disciple, and that's, like, not that bad. Yeah, I like that. So let's go attack with Aetherdrift. Oh, I guess I should have played Surveyor first. Not necessarily, because, yes, I don't start the engines this turn, but I don't get the, you know, choice of what to... do after I activate Buccaneer. Like, let's say I draw into something better than Surveyor. I'm only going to have a few mana up to activate Buccaneer, which I'm going to be forced to do if they block with, like, Rambler here. So, there's some trade-off, right? Yep, this is fine. And I'll just go Surveyor plus Catalyzer. And 2 more 3-power creatures are pretty nice, right? Just threatens to attack through these big creatures. 5 toughness. Here's where my bounce off #2 or stall out would be really good. Broadside's Barrage. Actually, pretty much any of my removal except Lightning Strike. Even Burner Rocket. Even Burner Rocket would be pretty good here. Alright, they play at Surveyor. They play a Disciple. Yeah, all fine. We draw a land. Okay, so... let's get in with the Surveyor, because even if they block, I still get to draw a card here. Some trample. I guess I could, like, activate Rambler and double block. That might be what they're looking to do, but if I'm trading Surveyor for Buccaneer activation and Rambler, like, that's fine by me. Okay. So we do this. Ooh, there's that stall out. Not a bad one, not a bad one. Pump here. And I don't think I'm going to cast this right now. I think I would prefer, #1, to have his lockdown for more combats on my turn, but #2, not let them know it's coming when they're making their decisions this turn. It does mean there's a chance I don't get to cast the Spike Spitter, but I don't think the Spike Spitter is, like, all that relevant at this moment. Alright. Howler down. But that's not so bad, because now, yeah, we get to stall out this and get in a pretty good attack. Ooh, an even better attack. Once again, you know, like I said, they don't make this attack if they know their thing is gonna get stalled out. Oh, actually, way better. Let's just kill it, shall we? Yeah, pitch that, and yeah, we're gonna get aggro here. We're gonna lock down Surveyor so that nothing trades this turn. Get in a bunch, and now multiple lethal threats. And Boommobile. All right, yeah. They're stable for the time being. Probably kill my Catalyzer if I were to guess. Yeah, they could kill my Flyer. That's reasonable too, because like if I draw a removal spell, then they're on a 3-turn clock. Yeah, they do. Okay. All right, and we just draw land, so yeah, I can't make any attacks. If I attack all, they like crew with the Diver. And, well, actually, hold on a second. Is this a good attack? Probably not, because I guess they crew with the Disciple. They block Boommobile here, Diver here, then kill the Optimizer. Yeah, that's not good, so let's just play Spitter. Especially because if they don't draw anything, this is now lethal still. Because we've got multiple 3-power creatures. They've only got 2 blockers, so they actually have to hit here. Let's see, what's their hit chances? 6 lands in the battlefield, none in the grave, 22 cards in library. So this is an attack so that they can activate Column. So that means they didn't draw anything. So I should block because they have to send it at my face, right? Because if they don't send it at my face, if they send it to the Catalyzer or Optimizer, Catalyzer makes more sense, then they just die. So yes, I should block here. They're just doing this to go to the 4th level of engines. Okay, looks promising. Yeah, they need like, yeah, it would have to be something that does 2 things, right? 2 blockers, gain some life, whatever, because like one thing would not hold back multiple 3-power lethal creatures. All right, 3-0, and we get this hand. Yeah, this hand is keepable. Like multiple cheap things plus Buccaneer to filter us. Captain Howler. Now we have Stall Out if we need to buy a little bit of time. Okay, Engine Rat. Try an Engineer. It's an interesting one. So, I could either play Engineer or Unit. I think those are the 2 that make sense. Some trade-offs here, right? Because if I play Engineer, it can't die to Grimbauble. But if I play Unit, it's just more damage over the long term. I think I'm probably just going to play Unit because even if they do Grimbauble this, that means they're not playing a 3-drop. So I think it's like totally fine. It's not like this unit is key to my plan or anything. If it dies, it dies. And if it doesn't, yeah, like I said, more damage. Green Javelineer. Okay. Yeah, we'll take 2. And nice, through the mountain. Okay, so now we go probably just Buccaneer and Bash. I think I'm going to be pretty happy to trade with this Javelineer if they want to offer that trade. Pump there. Yeah, especially because they don't get a Surveil this turn. I'm pretty happy about that. Tactile Terror. All right, it's a good one. Vinwix blocks nicely, though. Let's... Oops, did I want to play Vinwix first? I did. Yeah, I clicked a little too quickly here. All right, my bad. Yeah, let's just play this now. So, missed out on starting the engines, unfortunately. Oh, we started them, but we didn't go up to speed 2. Ooh, Sunmare. Okay, we drew the land, which is pretty nice. So, I think I probably... honestly just stall out this thing. Like, I think my hand can probably beat them, given that they don't have anything too awesome coming. And the game just gets out of hand if they start searching stuff out with this. I could play the Howler and trade, but that's bad both because I have to trade the Howler and because they still get to get in 1 attack. At least if this does untap. Ooh, geez. Okay, that's a good one. I was gonna say, at least if this does untap at some point, I'm going to have a much more stable board. All right, so this is pretty bad. Perilous Snare is a really good one. Although Nimble Thopterus was a really good one too. Okay, so let's keep on getting in and play the Thopterus. Be happy to, trade here, eat Engine Rat, or trade with Engine Rat. I'd often also be happy if they just attack with Terror. I could double block. Collision Course. All right. Yeah, probably gonna lose this one now because we chump here, we go to 5. Now this Engine Rat's gonna be a big problem. Yeah, Wickerfolk. Well, Wickerfolk's okay. Wickerfolk at least gets blocked, but although, yeah, just pinged us, which is pretty bad. We draw Barrage, which I think would be good enough if I could play something else this turn, like kill Terror, play something else, and then we take 3 from the Sundial anyways. All right, yeah, this one. Not in the cards. All right, sitting at 3-1. And we've got a nice opening hand, so we will keep it. One of mulligans. Ooh, there's our best card in the set, Burner Rocket. But, like I said, drawing with Buccaneer. See if the old 1-2 punch comes to fruition here. Tapped Greenland. Interesting. So what does that mean? That means like the mythic vehicle, maybe? That like the 5/5 vehicle that puts counters on things. Could just be like Web Strike Elite. It's King Buccaneer. Oh, are we gonna get it? Let's see. Oh no, I guess they won't because Buccaneer can just activate. That's right. Okay, so yeah, let's just bash and what do I want to do after that? I guess I just play Optimizer here so I can do multiple things next turn. Yeah, what else would double with green be? I mean, it could just be like Ketradon or something. Also a Swamp. Okay. And an Activate. Sure. Yep, just take this. I thought about that attack for a second. Okay, so yeah, I think we just attack here. Yeah, I guess I could do that thing now, right? All right, let's see. Let's see if it works. They could have like Max Overdrive, Silken Strength to make this not go right for me, but I think I just discard this island here. We'll give it a go. All right, it worked. We did it. We won. We've officially won in my heart, even if you don't win this game. Although it looks like we're doing pretty well. Board's clear. They're at 14. We've got multiple removal spells in hand. Earth Rumbler. All right, that's fine. I'm also not too sad if I trade like Burner Rocket or just like one of these cards for Earth Rumbler. So yeah, like at this point, with them being like fairly low, me having multiple evasive creatures, I think this is fine. Yep, so they block Keen Buccaneer. And we go strike, play our unit. This does look kind of bad if they play a Ketradon, I guess, but we have an answer for that eventually. Aha, Mammoth. Okay, yeah. Honestly, not as bad as Ketradon. Like, not even close to as bad as Ketradon, right? We drew the Barrage, too, which is pretty good, so let's just keep on keeping on. Yep, just land. Burner Rocket. Straight at the Elephant. Yep. Play the Compactor. Okay, they're tapping in a particular manner. Is this like Rise from the Wreck? No, they don't have enough cards. Okay, it's just Night Market. That's good. Gain 1. And flood my engineer. Cool. Okay. Play Spike Spitter. And get him for 4. Okay, so they need, yeah, once again, like, we've been putting our opponents in this spot a lot where, like, they need multiple things here. I guess just multiple cards will do it, but we can, like, Compactor the Serpent and kill them. Okay, I mean, that actually works. Yeah, that means that they don't just die here. Okay, never mind. They do just die. All right, well, the tempo continues until morale improves and all that. And yeah, there we go. Yeah, I do think that that line with the Earth Rumbler was kind of interesting. Like, I don't often love 2-for-1ing myself, but like the combo of having a bunch of evasion, getting in a pretty big attack that turn, having a bunch of action in hand still, I think it's like, you know, okay to 2-for-1 myself there. It's what Magic's all about, right? Figuring out when it's okay to 2-for-1 yourself. All right. Yeah, this is pretty good. Interaction lights, but 1 into 2 into 3 into 4. Can't complain about that. Also, just thinking back, not to dwell on the last game too much, but like we also got a 2-for-1 with the burner rocket when we cast it, so you know, it comes out to a bit of a wash. All right, they play an engineer. We play catalyzer now. No attacks, obviously. And nothing. Okay, yeah, I think I'll just offer the catalyzer here and then play Buccaneer. Ooh, just take it. Does this mean counterspell? It could. So if that's the case, do I mind them countering my Keen Buccaneer? Not in particular. Yeah, let's just play Keen Buccaneer. Mm-hmm. Another engineer. Yep. And an omnivore. Okay. Yep, pretty good. Lightning strike. Okay. So I think I actually pass here and then maybe not. So my thought here is that I don't have great tools to racing these engineers right now. And it would be really nice if the opponent activated and we cast Lightning Strike in response. But I don't think they're that likely to do that into open mana. And then even if, you know, even if they don't care about the open mana, like they could just have another spell to cast. And then we, you know, basically, we don't let her turn on fire. But then I'm like Lightning Striking Engineer and then not doing too much. I guess I could just do that now, right? Like Lightning Strike the Engineer, attack with these two. They trade Goblin for Omnivore. And then I don't have too much of a tough time racing one engineer. Yeah, I'm kind of on board with that. Let's just do that. Especially because eventually I might get to just exhaust my own engineer, block this if it becomes a problem. Okay, yeah. Ooh, hope they just activate here. Hope they activate here and we play Ironclad. Or draw the land to play Ironclad. Alright, they didn't activate, which kind of implies another counterspell, right? We don't have a great way to play around a counterspell other than just, like, jamming a card we don't care about that much. Which actually might be the play. I could jam Optimizer. I don't really want to activate Goblin right now. You know what? I'm actually just going to jam the Buccaneer anyways, because if they want to counter this, that means they're not activating this. That means they're not countering this. So, I think this is fine. Summoner. All right. Yeah, this is Tarion. Okay, it's just Omnivore. I was going to say, this is Tarion. We have a bit of a problem. But just Omnivore is fine. All right, so draw a Gunner. Yeah, so now I think I should try to hit some lands. And how am I going to do that? I guess it's probably just going to be Buccaneer. Because that blocks the Omnivore. I want to do that anyways this turn. Unsummoned's not a bad one either. Okay, let's just pitch this Optimizer. It's not doing too much. And yeah, Bouncing Engineer now is sort of interesting. Yeah, I think I'm kind of cool with that. Like, I don't... Oops, sorry. I don't want to take damage when I've got, like, Gunner in hand and that can block. And don't want to gut gone, but, like, defend the Rider or something. Okay. Alright. Well, cards on the table. Draw land. So... if we play Ironclad, what does that look like? It looks pretty good. It pressures them pretty well, and if they... if we draw a removal spell next turn, puts us in a really good spot. It's like they're going to go for a double block. We get to blow it out, maybe. Scurryfoot, okay. And then activate. Yep, makes sense. Spike Spitter. So what happens if I just attack with this Ironclad? They don't have a great block. Like, they don't have a good double block where they just get to trade for one thing. So I think it's a good attack. They could attack me with everything next turn, and that's, like, you know, a bit of a concern. But Spike Spitter blocks pretty well here. I actually think it's probably likely they don't block here. Yeah, but I don't see myself winning this game by just sitting back forever. That hit of 6 is pretty nice if I draw another interaction spell. So yeah, let's play Spike Spitter. Or, do I play the Thopterist this turn? Thopterist blocks more things. Like, so let's just say they activate Guardian, right? What happens there? I take 5. I can block here. 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11. Okay, they can't do that because they die on the crackback. So yeah, I'll just play Spike Spitter. Draw a card next turn. And honestly, if they attack with Guardian, I might just double block. Oh. Okay, well that's bad, because that just means we lose. Alright. Yeah. Come on in. Come on with the team. Yeah, because they just have lethal, right? I block the Omnivore, I take 2, 5, 6, 7, 8. Yeah, it's lethal if they just bash that everything and activate Guardian. Yeah, they figured it out. Cool. Alright. Yeah, they can also, sorry, they also give trample to Omnivore too. Alright, GG. Alright, 4 and 2 on the rocks. Yeah, I approve this hand. Alright, twin mixed. Specialist. Ooh, very nice. Twin mixed, doing your job. Also, Specialist is pretty nice for us to see when we've got a bounce off, because that it's likely that we can engineer a moment where we make them activate and then we bounce off. But let's get in and play our Thopterist. It's going pretty well so far. Yeah, this is like exactly where you want to be for this kind of deck, right? Just like pretty substantial clock with like all the removal in the world in your hand. I guess I'd like to have another blue source, but can't be too picky here. Okay, yep. Okay, I draw another blue card. Not ideal, so I think this just means I compactor the Omnivore. What if I just attack? What happens there? Like, attack all and then play the Omnivore. Or, sorry, the Buccaneer. And then they'll just, like, play the compactor but don't activate. Yeah, that's probably okay too, because they're not gonna block Omnivore on Buccaneer, so I'm not gonna be forced to activate here. And yeah, that trade happens. We get Buccaneer down, play Compactor. Cool. Now we really want another blue source, so we can like Buccaneer plus do something else. Although I guess we can also just go kill Omnivore, bounce whatever they play this turn. It's good too. Boom-mobile. Okay. So that means token down. Also means we're not getting in this turn unless we like stall out the Boommobile and bounce off. Okay, didn't draw the blue source to do that. So I think that means we just compactor this Scurryfoot and do nothing. Not great, but I think I'm supposed to do that. Or how about this? We stall out the Boommobile, attack with double Buccaneer. They trade one of them for the Omnivore, and then we get to max speed. Pretty bad if then they have a removal spell for Windwix next turn. Yeah, so it's not an efficient turn by any means, but I do think I just go kill this thing. Actually, hold on. What if we then now attack? They activate Boommobile. They can't kill anything on the way back down. So I actually think it's pretty good. Cool, okay. I mean, they can hold this, of course, and kill it on a future turn. But yeah, now we get to max speed. Oh, wait. Yes, they can. What am I saying? I'm mathing wrong here. Sorry, my bad. Even still, I don't hate this play because, yeah, now we're drawing 2 cards a turn. And we're going to draw 4 with activating the Buccaneer, or like, you know, yeah, you know what I mean. Just like activate this and discard 2. So I think that was actually still a pretty good play despite me mathing wrong. And now let's see, activate. Yeah, I'll just do this while we can. Okay, didn't draw an island, unfortunately. Do we want the Boommobile, or so the Burner Rocket, or something else? I guess we probably want the Engineer. If I pitch Catalyzer, I'm not playing too much this turn. I could actually just pitch land. Yeah, land's not too bad here. Okay. Especially because Catalyzer taps for mana now. Okay, so if they now untap and kill Vinwix, you know, fine. Annoying, but fine. Oh, they're going to send with the Boommobile? No, they're going to send with the Omnivore. Well, I think I'm supposed to block here. If they give out Bestow Greatness, sure, they use it, and that's fine. Should I double block? I don't think so. Vanguardian. Okay, well, the double block would have been better, but you know, bad against the common. Drew another mountain. Okay. So yeah, now we are getting pretty choked on blue. So I guess I just pass here. What we can do probably this turn is block Guardian. They activate, we bounce. Or they just do it straight up. That works too. Yep, let's trade. And I think I'm going to take 5 here. So that the Guardian can't attack next turn. Like, basically, take 5, bounce the end of turn. So they can't just replay it right now. Oh, also, you know what was better? I messed this up. I think I should have Burner Rocketed, give the pump to Vinwix, traded Burner Rocket for the Fang Guardian. Yeah, that was my bad. I should have done that. Okay, so now I think this Flood has this Guardian's name on it. So we're gonna... So I think we go Engineer. And stall out this Boommobile, because it's pretty threatening. You know, just pass back. Schloop. Ooh, this is going to be nice, actually. Yeah, because we get to eat this Omnivore with the burner rocket. I'm putting Vinwix in harm's way. But I think that's an okay risk to take at this point when I've drawn a bunch of cards. Okay, now they have the Bestow Greatness. Alright, never mind. Alright. Okay. Even still, I think we're in a fine spot now. Draw land, so lock you down. Yeah, I think we get in, and I think we just burn a rocket. Present a 4-turn clock, or less if they if we draw a creature when they don't have a blocker this turn. Ooh. Yeah, that's a good one. Alright. So now they are dead next turn. Let's pass here. So if they don't draw anything, they're forced to attack with Omnivore. Which they do. And yeah, really hoping they miss here, because if they don't, Boommobile untaps. Okay, they go to 7. Still dead currently. Yep, that's fine. All right, cool. Burner Rocket, once again, instrumental in our wins. Ooh, we got 2 Mind Sculptors facing each other. Although they've got the Mind Sculptor name over there. This hand is... Ugh. So, like... pretty darn good if we draw a red source, and actually not that bad if we don't, right? Because we can activate Scrap Compactor on 3, or cast Flood the Engine, although we can cast Compactor even if we don't draw the land. And if we draw the red source, it's pretty good. There we go. We did it every time. Streamer luck strikes again. Oh, also, I just realized this is Soapy Bubble. I know who this person is. Very good player. Pit Automaton. Okay. Optimizer, come on down. Card's pretty scary. I could consider flooding this. Like, we'll see what they play here. If they play a good exhaust creature, I think I might. Starting column, okay. So yeah, what does that make me want to do? I think I just play the Ironclad. There's no guarantee that the Ironclad attacks next turn. Because I do not have a 3-power creature unless I can play the land or draw the land for Thopterist. Honestly, if that's the case, I actually kind of just want to go flood this thing. Because, yeah, like I said, Pit Automaton's a pretty scary card. They have a response? Is this... It's either unsummon, like bounce off, or defend the rider. I think if it's defend the rider, I don't mind trading Optimizer for the token. Okay. Kind of think it... I think they probably would have defended the rider there to protect the Automaton, so it's probably bounce off. Which means my Ironclad plan I don't like very much, because Ironclad's really bad against bounce off. Ooh, spicy. Okay, okay. Chariot, yeah. Okay, so now we just attack and play Thopterist. Maybe it's nothing. There's no stop anymore, so maybe they just had priority held. Alright, let's see how much they can go off with this card. Like I said, Soapy Bubble I know is a good player, so they're not just putting this card in their deck for no reason. We can also, if we draw a land, Compactor the Chariot, because we have Optimizer. They're thinking pretty hard here too, so good kind of not exactly a tell of what they have, but it tells you they have multiple things that are reasonable here, right? Does give you a little bit of insight into what they might have. Okay, they play a bike into a Greenbelt Guardian. Okay. And, ooh, getting aggressive too. I mean, it makes sense with the Guardian. Although they do know I have a removal spell on the battlefield. Okay. I think I'm probably, yeah, now that I've drawn a 2-drop, just go strike this. Now is this where they unsummon? Let's see. Maybe they do have it. Yeah, because the thing is, if they do go for that, I can just scrap Compactor in response, which I think I would. Chariot's crew 2, right? Yeah, crew 2. Maybe there's nothing going on here, and they're just getting a sandwich. Answering the door. A parcel came. Attending to a toddler. Who knows? Okay. Yeah, looks like they were just out to lunch. I think they timed out there. Oh, okay, they're back. Played a Risen Necker region. Yeah, fair. And yeah, they probably get in, I would assume. Want to increase their speed. Get to bash them back pretty nicely. We draw the land too. Okay, so I think I go. What do I think I go? I could just play the Gunner, although Gunner means that if they have to like removal spell plus creature to crew this to kill me, which is not that likely. So yeah, what do I like doing here? I can attack for 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. Puts them to 6. And then play Gunner. They then get to make a token. Actually, multiple tokens, because the starting column, too. Yeah, it's actually pretty close. It's not clear what I want to do here. So yeah, options are like, play Gunner, attack with all. They get to make 2 tokens. That allows them tapping some creatures sideways, though, or turning some creatures sideways. I could also play the Ironclad instead. Yeah, what do I think about that? Attack all and then play Ironclad? That means I'm dead, though. It's just you any creature, so I shouldn't do that. I think I'm going to take the conservative line here. Not exactly sure if this is right, but I'm going to kill this Necker Regent and just get in. They're still in kind of a dicey spot. They can't get in with the Chariot without having something else, and if they get in with the Chariot, it means they drew another creature. Yeah, basically, I defaulted to... That seemed like the safest line, and I don't think I have to take a super risky line here. I don't think I'm super far ahead or anything, but far ahead enough to not take a line that could go poorly. Camera launcher. Okay, that's a pretty good one. Yeah, really good one here, actually. Wow. So they activate, they can attack with the Chariot, they get to max speed. Yeah, and then I have to be the one to worry about just like 5/5 Menace hitting me next turn. Although if I draw a removal spell, we're good, because they have to like activate launcher, then I can remove the creature. It has to be an instant speed removal spell. Otherwise they just get to crew. Oh no, they don't get to crew the bike. In any case, we didn't draw it. So what do we do? What do we do? What do we do? They're going to activate launcher. I'm gonna want to block. So now should I play Ironclad? I think so. Yeah, I think so. I think we want to set up lethal for next turn. I do have to block this Chariot. Yeah, tough line once again. And Ironclad's not even necessarily lethal, right? Because like they're gonna have another blocker. Most likely 2. Okay, let's play Gunner here. I think that's a little bit better. Let's pitch this mountain. Catalyzer. Okay, let's get in with Aetherdrift, and I think that's it. I think I want to this turn again be a little conservative. Yeah, let's just do that. Yep, they activate. Ooh, I think just take it. How bad is that for me? Let's see. So yeah, they can start in calling to make some zombies. What's my best draw even at this point? A bounce off would be pretty decent. Like basically any interaction would be pretty good. Burner Rocket, once again, I think looks pretty good here. My worst draw is probably like Vinwix, although you know we get 2 hits at draws here no matter what. I guess 3 with the Ironclad. So yeah, really tight game. It's been an interesting one. I have no read on what they have in hand, to be quite honest. Ah. Okay. Ah, wow. That's really, really bad for me. That's so bad for me, because I now have to chump block this Chariot, right? Oh, no, I don't. No, I don't. What am I saying? It's going to get -3 as well. So they should have waited on that, right? They did that. They should have not done that in response to the trigger. Okay, in any case, we take 3. Okay, so now we just have to find a removal spell and we win, I guess. Easy as that, he says. Easy as that. Okay, so what do we like doing here? Pitch Ironclad. Unfortunately, I can't force them into a block. That'd be pretty nice. Okay, so yeah, it's pitch Ironclad. Draw a mountain. Sorry, that's not true. I can force them into a block, but then I just die on the crackback. Okay, so I guess we go unit, catalyzer, pass. Unfortunately, can't punish them for the non-lethal attack. I could get in with engineer. But that means... So I think removal is bad for me no matter what, right? Like, I just can't really play around a removal spell. So if I attack with engineer, they go to 4. They crew chariot with launcher. I double block and chump. I'm going to be left with diversion unit still. Yeah, I don't think I love that. Because I actually do, now thinking about it again, I do think I have decent game against a removal spell. Like, they kill something. They kill the gunner. I double block. Oh, okay. Well... That was an easy end of the game. All that thinking for nothing. All right. GG's. All right, well, scrappy little deck here. Went 5-3. Not too bad. I do think, like I was kind of, memeing, joking about this Burner Rocket, but it was actually pretty good in this deck. I don't even think I used it optimally a few times. But yeah, like I just, the format's almost over. But I have been really leaning into more tempo-y decks that are trying to end the game, rather than, cast a bunch of multicolor things, big green dummies or anything like that. And yeah, I think, the shell for this deck was kind of there, like double bounce off, some evasive stuff, some things to push damage. Howler obviously was pretty good in a few games. But yeah, in any case, hope you enjoyed. Like I said, I think this was probably going to be my last Aetherdrift video. So yeah, it was a decent one to send it off on. We'll be back with some cons content coming this week. Set review is coming next week too. So yeah, stay tuned. If you liked it, so you liked the video and you haven't already, like, comment, subscribe, all that stuff. And we'll see you next time. Bye, everybody.